All that and more in just a minute, but we are going to begin with some breaking news. 3 men are dead after a shooting at the Islamic Center of San Diego. It happened this afternoon. Police say 2 shooters opened fire outside the largest mosque in that city. One of the victims is a security guard who police say played a pivotal role in preventing more people from getting hurt during that shooting. The Islamic Center also houses a school. An imam told us teachers, students, and staff members were evacuated safely.
I could hear the officers shouting to evacuate in the background, and it was, paralyzing and so frightening. And at the same time, I had to drop everything and come directly to make sure, our community is safe and they're okay, and they know that they're not alone in this really insane time.
Police say both the shooters were teenagers, believed to be 17 and 19 years old, and they were found dead from self-inflicted gunshot wounds inside a car after the shooting had ended. Police say they're still investigating a possible motive here, and they are treating this as a hate crime, quote, until it's not. Thanks for joining us at 4, everyone. I'm Phil Lipoff.
And I'm Kim Christensen. Aurora City Council is considering a measure that would limit what police can post online.
So the measure is set for a vote at a meeting beginning about an hour from now. Kevin Vaughn from 9 News Investigates joins us from Aurora. Kevin, this came about pretty quickly.
Yeah, Phil and Kim, this emergency measure came about on Thursday. That's the same day Aurora's police chief publicly expressed concerns about legislation that would expand public access to body cam footage. Monday morning, Aurora police took the standard step of alerting the public that a 4-year-old had been beaten to death, and a man was in custody and facing charges. By tomorrow, that could be prohibited in Aurora. City council members are set to consider an emergency resolution that would stop police from posting the name or photograph of someone they've arrested until there's either a guilty plea or a conviction.
The fact of an arrest is a public record. It's called a record of official action in the Colorado Criminal Justice Records Act. It's one of a small subset of police records that must be released to the public.
Jeff Roberts leads the Colorado Freedom of Information Coalition.
It's difficult for the press sometimes to even find out that a crime has occurred without the police putting something out there.
And that's not the only thing the measure would change for APD, where Chief Todd Chamberlain has frequently gone before the cameras to talk about a major incident or the actions of his officers. Last week, in a social media post, he laid out his concerns about a bill that would make unedited video and audio recordings of things like police shootings available to anyone. This new measure would prohibit Chamberlain or anyone else in the department from making statements about legislation without the city council's prior approval, and it would require pre-approval by the city's communications staff for all social media posts, press releases, and briefings by the police department. Full disclosure, 9 News is a member of the Colorado Freedom of Information Coalition, and I serve on its board. In a statement today, the chief said transparency and safety are hurt when information is filtered or delayed. He also said his department has been nothing but professional, and to suggest otherwise by silencing us all should concern the city's residents. Reporting live at Aurora City Hall, Kevin Vaughn, 9 News.
And so, Kevin, there's no discussion scheduled at all on this?
Yeah, Phil, this is on the consent calendar, so it could be approved with a vote with no discussion. However, it would take only one member of the council to ask that it be removed from the consent calendar for a wider discussion. We're hearing that that's likely to happen. The meeting starts at 5. We will see.
All right, Kevin, thanks. We know you keep us up to date. Appreciate it.
Ooh, it is wet out there and chilly. It got colder throughout the day. Downtown Denver has seen rain on and off throughout the day. Big old puddles of water to walk around. In some places, that moisture is coming down as snow. Not here in the city, but.
It doesn't even make sense, doesn't register. Chief Weather Impact Meteorologist Kathy Sabin joins us now. Kathy, I know we need this. This is great for the environment, but yeah, rare event for sure.
Yeah, you know what? We've got rain on more than one day this week, so this is a wonderful turn in the pattern. May is one of our wetter months on average, so it's nice to see the month of May actually behaving like a normal month, because we haven't seen that for the last 6 months. And we've had heavy rain reported in Denver, Fort Collins, down south into Parker. We've had anywhere from a half to an inch of rain, and still coming down tonight. And it will continue tomorrow and the day after that. But in the foothills, it's all snow. Winter weather and travel advisories are posted. Notice the temperature trend in southeastern Colorado. This is where we're dealing with a wildfire in Baca County, and they've had temperatures from the 60s to the 80s, tinder dry. They're not enjoying the cool, wet weather that we're seeing here in the city. You know, we're over 20 degrees colder than we were at this point yesterday. Many areas in northeastern Colorado. Denver not under a freeze warning or frost advisory, but areas around us are. Freeze warning temps could go down to 29 degrees. Portions of Douglas County and western Elbert County, and also the Northwest Plateau. Frost advisories mean if you're worried about plants and roses and, you know, all of those outdoor things that we put that time in planting, cover them tonight. A lot of water coming in with the center of circulation over northwestern Colorado in the form of snow for the mountains and foothills, heavy rain along the Front Range. This has already compromised travel on I-25 as we've seen cars slip in and slide in. There's been poor visibility, and we've had some splashback. We've also had hydroplaning. This is something we'll be dealing with tonight and again tomorrow, along with areas of patchy fog. And we're not done with this weather trend. So cool with showers tonight. Coming up, another check of the radar with that rain forecast and a look ahead at how much more mountain snow we might see. That forecast is ahead.
Thanks, Kathy. The state's highest court is ordering Children's Hospital Colorado to reinstate gender-affirming care for minors. The medical facility stopped that service earlier this year due to federal pressures. 9 News reporter Jaleesa Rosari joins us now. And Jaleesa, this is a big development.
Yeah, Kim, it's something families have been waiting for months. According to the lawsuit, there were an estimated 800 patients in the state of Colorado impacted by children's sudden stoppage. Now, Children's Hospital Colorado said they stopped providing gender-affirming care due to federal pressure from the Trump administration and the risk of losing funding. In January, a group of families filed a class action lawsuit saying the stoppage was causing life-threatening harm to children and asked for the care to be reinstated while the lawsuit played out. But a lower court denied that request, saying they understand the impact losing this care has, but said reinstating it could pose a greater risk to more people. Today, the Colorado Supreme Court ruled that the lower court abused its discretion with that decision and ordered Children's to resume care as the lawsuit moves forward. The plaintiff's attorney believes this decision will save lives.
What matters is the children, any child that needs medically necessary care should get that care. And politicians and governments shouldn't be making those decisions.
Now, we did reach out to Children's Hospital Colorado for a response to this decision and to find out when they plan to reinstate care. They sent a statement saying they are reviewing the court's decision, assessing their next steps, and will provide guidance in the near future. Kim?
Well, I know you've interviewed many of the families impacted by this and this kind of being in limbo and also feeling like nobody even knows they exist.
Exactly. We just spoke to one of those plaintiffs in this case anonymously last week, and very emotional sound, saying the impact this has had on their mental health. So Paula said she called those families and there were a lot of tears.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for following up on that, Jaleesa. President Trump is calling for a Republican primary challenger to Colorado Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, a longtime ally of the president. This weekend, he posted on social media, quote, "Is anyone interested in running against weak-minded Lauren Boebert in Colorado's 4th Congressional District? Just let me know or announce your candidacy, and I will be there for you." Kyle Clark is here. There is one small problem with his plan.
There is. It's too late for a primary challenge.
Yes.
Even like an organized write-in campaign, because those have to be registered with the Colorado Secretary of State's office. But if you set aside the factual issues with Trump's plan and just focus on the feelings, Trump is mad at Boebert because she went down to Kentucky to campaign for Congressman Thomas Massie. He's a conservative Republican. He's broken with Trump on some major legislation. He helped to force the release of the Epstein files. Trump didn't like that. Boebert took a stand against Trump on that very same issue. She resisted an enormous amount of pressure to make sure that she helped to force the Epstein files into the light of day. That led to a vote in the House where a ton of other Republicans, including Colorado Reps Gabe Evans, Jeff Hurd, and Jeff Crank, got on board with releasing the files at the last minute. Over the weekend, Trump called Boebert dumb for campaigning for Massie against a Trump-approved challenger, and Trump said that he would back any Republican who runs against Boebert. She said that she knew the risks of supporting Massey. She stands by her choice there. She said that she's not mad or offended by what Trump said about her. But again, this is not a thing for this year. Trump's missed that window. And you can't forget, the other thing that's happened is only 2 times in history has Trump ever rescinded his endorsement of somebody. And once was right here in Colorado, where he endorsed Congressman Jeff Hurd on the Western Slope, Boebert's old district, took away the endorsement, endorsed a MAGA challenger, and then like a couple months later was like, you know what, never mind, I'm gonna go back to Hurd.
But this is the way things work. It's transactional with him. So I'm wondering what you think about this, because Boebert and the folks at Next could probably, categorize this, but I'm guessing she was with Trump on 99.9% of the things that he did outside of Epstein and Massey. Does this change the calculus for others in the Republican Party who might have been considered breaking with him as we head toward the midterms?
Well, I think you make a good point, Phil, which is that if you have tied yourself to somebody who demands absolute loyalty and fealty, like the word absolute is there for a reason. It means you can't disagree about anything, right? And as Phil points out, she's been with Trump 99% of the time. She broke with him on this Massey thing. She broke with him on Epstein. So now she's down to 98%. She's persona non grata. I think the question is, like, 2 years from now, assuming that she's reelected in the safest Republican seat in Colorado, is Trump going to remember? Like, is he going to remember? Is he going to be on to the next thing, whatever else? And, don't forget, he's talking about a primary challenge to her. If Democrats get their wish to redraw Colorado's congressional districts, her red district will be the last one standing, and it'll likely get even safer for her if she can get through the primary.
Right. And we'll be following the Massey primary very closely.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting one. Yeah, and I'll have more to say about the Boebert situation coming up on Next at 6 o'clock. There's a lot to unpack there.
Okay, thanks.
All right, Kyle.